All right, Kerry, it is officially go time. And it's been a little bit since I've been in the center here to personally do a Throw It Thursday segment. Kerry had taken over for a little while. I was in Florida, and then we lost last week due to some weather. But we're back here at Pure Bowling in Ephrata, PA, and we're going to have Kerry showcasing a ball. Originally, I was going to try to do two today. I was going to throw the Zenith Pearl myself. I did not have the ability to do that for you tonight. It has been absolutely crazy in here. So I'm literally just getting off the press and jumping on the feed here to bring you the brand new Ebonite Game Breaker 4 that myself and Dino Castillo were reviewing on Tuesday of this week. So for the tech portion of it, real quick, just to go back over again on this. This GB4 version has the GB 12.0 solid cover on it. And what they did is they had to re-engineer and enhance the V2 core to give it that same shape that we're all used to seeing on the Game Breaker series. You have a 2.480 048 for diff, and your surface prep on this one is going to be 500 1500. Actually, Nick Vivian, you were not the first. Bernie was the first message. So Kerry's going to throw this one for us, and I can tell you, as she's throwing some shots here and getting warmed up, Kerry was a huge fan of the Game Breaker 3, and even the GB2 got some playtime for her, definitely back when the tour was still up and running before the pandemic hit. So when we got the first look at this for the GB4, and saw the release on this, Kerry's eyes lit up, similar to one of her best friends and mine, Shannon O'Keefe. Definitely going to be one that's going to be a mainstay staple in the bag. And we're going to have Kerry throwing some shots here and kind of show you this kind of benchmark shape. And the way we like to kind of look at this ball was, if you're a fan of the other ones, you can compare it to like an Allure Solid. Allure Solid, a little smoother. This one's just a little earlier. That red color seems to make it go a little earlier in the pigment. But first impressions so far as you're getting warmed up here, Kerry, what are you thinking so far?
Love it. No, it's awesome. It definitely has a lot of similar characteristics of the GB2 and the GB3. Has the same shape, but it's definitely more ball.
What's more ball? I don't know that it has the same shape as a GB2. I mean, a GB2 was definitely a lot cleaner than this version here.
When I say same shape, I mean smoother, I guess I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Smooth, controllable piece. You got a symmetric with a stronger cover on this thing. You got the 2.480, so lower RG. This is going to see the lane a little earlier. And you combine that with the 048 diff, and you got plenty of flare potential. For Kerry, this bowling ball went a little bit different, as you can see from Kerry getting warmed up here. Obviously, we know Kerry is a low tilt player. Has a little bit more axis rotation than you would think, as her hand kind of gets in the side of the ball, through the swing, not completely up the back of it. So in this version here, it's a symmetric, so the front angle doesn't mean very much. But for her, this is a 3.5-inch pin to pap, a little stronger than we've been drilling a lot of them, and decided to go that route, gearing up for some tournament play. And then we're using a back angle in this ball that is 35 degrees to the bow.
What are your thoughts so far, Jeff?
Well, I'm going to watch you throw a couple more shots because I'm going to be honest with you. You are one of the first individuals that I've physically gotten to see this ball get in the lane and see a couple videos on it. So far, it definitely has plenty of teeth. Now, keep in mind, we are on a 70-year-old wood surface here, very well maintained, and she's bowling on 43 feet, and the ratio on it's about 8-to-1. It's not overly hard; it's pretty easy. But we use ice oil, keep it a little slicker, so to try to get some of the characteristics and not make it feel like traditional wood, where you're going to bowl completely different than what you would see out of synthetics. But, Kerry's obviously going to trap it a little bit to the right here. She's going to be out in the fresher portion of the wood. And so far, you're asking me what I'm seeing is this ball's standing up in the right spot. So pretty encouraging. But you can see it's relatively early. Ball's rolling forward very nicely off the end of the pattern. Now, that was way in, and I don't care what ball you throw, it's going to plaque when you throw it like that. So, congratulations, Kerry. It looks like you
Sorry.
missing a head pin on this next rack.
Oh, I see that.
Well, hopefully it doesn't jam.
I would like to reset it.
But reset it, and if we have to, we'll move over to lane 1. All right, 27 viewers out there. Talk to me a little bit. Any questions you may have on the, like I said, on the GB4. We like to throw it down the lane and talk a little bit. You got a jam. You're going to have to go over to 1. I'm not going to go down there during a feed. Kerry bowled a little too quick, so
Sorry.
she jammed up lane 2, and I'm not going down there during a feed. So. Yeah, it's good to be on the lanes, Nick. We're doing a lot of bowling actually this weekend. The rest of this bowling center should pretty much be done. We've been doing a renovation on the right side, which seems like forever. And we got a group of guys coming in. We're going to wrap up this thing on Saturday and Sunday. New gutters throughout the whole facility, new masking units. You know, I wanted to keep some of the historic value of it. We're going to keep the wood as long as we possibly can. But the magic triangles down there are going to go. We're going to be upgrading a little bit so we can do a little more interaction with players and things that we do from the training perspective here moving forward. Very good overall shape. Kerry, your viewership is down tonight. I think everybody's sad because I'm not throwing balls. I mean, you've only had like 40 people on so far. Well, at the peak, they're popping in and out trying to get a sneak peek of this GB4 for the first time.
Man.
So
it's GB4 time. Who has questions?
Facebook land is quiet tonight. They don't want to ask you anything.
Like cricket.
Your friend Brittany is on, so she's watching. Brittany, I only throw 300 when I'm pregnant. Updike. Congrats on your 3 bills there, lady. Ooh, you got the little offhit there.
Lane 1.
GB4 ball motion compared to a web tour hybrid, very, I would say pretty distinctly different. Obviously, the differential is higher in this GB4, Nick. On the web cover, you have a tour cover, and you also have a lower differential on the web tour to kind of give you that smooth through the front part of the lane and good continuation through the pins, more of a control piece. Hybrid cover stock is a little quicker. When you get into the solid version with the GB4, obviously this ball is going to be earlier paired with the lower RG, and then with a higher dip, your flare potential is going to be higher. And if you caught the segment last night when we were talking a lot about that, your flare potential means you're going to have a bigger footprint with the ball on the lane, which is going to make it immediately earlier than what you're seeing with that web tour hybrid. Earlier, cleaner than Allure Solid. Earlier, the Allure Solid it's pretty comparable, Jason. I think it's a stronger benchmark, bigger cover. Nice, Kerry. That's going to sell a lot of balls.
I'm sorry, I slipped.
Let's make fun of Kerry for that shot, and I'm only doing that because I'm not bowling. But when you leave a 4-5, we can leave that with any bowling ball.
Hey, I went from.
You posted that shot about as good as Adam Ishman has posted every shot in his career. Adam, I hope you're on. I love you.
Went from a lane where the approaches were okay to a lane where the approaches are a little bit more slippery. So I gotta get used to it. It's okay.
Pete Brennan, should I be concerned if my Pro Shop operator does not use dual angle layouts? Well, Pete, I don't want to. It's kind of a loaded question. I mean, maybe he uses the storm vector layout system. Maybe he uses a different type of math. I can't exactly, I'm not 100% sure what he uses and how he lays bowling balls out. But if he has a method that allows him to basically get the core in the right angle and in relationship to what your pin to path to control the flare of the bowling ball, I mean, I guess there's a bunch of different ways to get there. But, if you feel like you're having, some issues or ball motion or questions about that, definitely maybe a conversation you want to have with them. I mean, it's critical that when you're drilling ball for performance standpoints, that the pro shop operator you're working with has all your parameters, which is your PAP, axis tilt, axis rotation, overall ball speed is huge. It's all part of the equation when we're redefining ball motion for a player. It's different. Yeah, Eddie, I agree. I mean, I don't want to speak for a person. So many people lay out bowling balls different ways. I mean, maybe he has a way of doing it. So I wouldn't say be concerned, Pete, but I mean, if you have questions on it, I think it's a good conversation you can have with him. And Pete, you're saying everything is off the PAP. I mean, okay. If everything's off your PAP, then they're obviously, sounds like they have a way that they're positioning. Dual angles is not the only way to lay a bowling ball out. Nick Smith is a big fan of the finger method. If Nick isn't on here tonight, I'm sure he'll hear it at some point. All right, Kerry. Do you want me to turn the camera? I might have to go down and unjam lane 2 because she's throwing it like a sprinkler head right now in the left lane here. All right, what we got, folks? So, 12-minute mark. We usually do this for about 15 minutes or so. So it's we'll stay on for a few more minutes and answer a couple other questions here. But again, I mean, I think if you're looking to kind of where that GB4 is going to fit into a line, obviously you're going to get that great benchmark shape you're looking for. This is going to be a ball that's definitely going to come out of the bag pretty early on, help you read a lane, kind of dictate what the lane is doing, because you're going to get some predictable ball motion to understand the front to back movements of the lane, and then you'll be able to adjust off of that, move it into your block.
That was a better shot.
It's better, but you only got 9.
I know. Everybody on the team needs to know how tricky this lane is.
Yes, lane. She wants everybody to understand how hard lane 1 is in this building.
If you shoot 175 on it, that's like shooting 250.
My average on lane 1 is 240, so I think it's just fine.
Mine's 175.
Yeah. Well. Lane 1 may or may not run downhill a little bit. Ball definitely accelerates going down the lane. It's old wood. That's what gives it character. Runs downhill, ball doesn't slow down near enough, so it's one of those lanes where you really got to shim it, and that's definitely not the part of the lane that Kerry prefers to play. See? Jeffrey says you need to turn that whacker up, is what it is. You need to put that. The gentle giant says you need full hot mode on it.
I mean, I got that one to stop quick, and you can kind of see how it comes off of it. So
a lot of ball for the price point.
Yeah, sure.
But glad to see the the name itself, and I think a testament to the guys at Brunswick are doing as they made the acquisition and bringing some of these nameplates back that we love for all these years coming out of Hopkinsville, and to really make sure that they're doing their due diligence to when they come out with a release with this nameplate on it, is to make sure that we're seeing shapes that we're accustomed to under these lines. And again, we did an amazing job when we came out with the Widow. I think it was an unbelievable release to show that we're capable of making bowling balls the exact same way. And this GB4 is going to be another one. And there's going to be some more names down the road that you're going to see coming back. Jonathan, does GB4 seem earlier than the other GB balls, like what Dino said? Yes, Jonathan, like at the beginning it is earlier, and I think it's the same thing Dino and I talked about. It's got some red pigment in it, right? And red, for whatever reason, in bowling ball seems to be a little earlier. I know we talked elk going all the way back to the Mission line and what we saw in those bowling balls, but it's just in the pigments makes it see it a little earlier. You know, it's definitely earlier than, you know, in my opinion, than what the GB3 was. GB3 was a little cleaner through that zone. I know when Kerry had a GB3, hers was actually down and had a hole just to get it to start it up a little bit. But we don't get to use holes anymore.
I'm gonna try really hard.
Are you? Okay, yeah, everybody here is, I haven't told you all the negative comments you're getting on here. You have 15, there's 15 faces on here that are frowning.
That makes me feel bad.
Actually, they're laughing faces. I think they're laughing at your ability to get 6 right now. I'm not the only one that's ever done it on a live feed. Just remember, this is live and you're a professional.
Yep, but you know what? Even professionals have bad days.
Okay. That was a little better. We'll give you that. 1 out of 14 isn't bad. So this ball will strike 1 out of 14 times, according to what Kerry just showed you.
This lane is hard.
But it's okay. All right, gang. Anybody else out there? Any last minute questions you have on here? If not, as always, we'll kick the feed off. Just wanted to give you a little peek of this thing before it releases. I will tell you that pre-orders on this one are very, very, very strong, and looking forward to seeing a whole bunch of these going down the lane. How would the Vortex compare? Are you talking about the V2, Jonathan? If you're talking about the V2, I mean, obviously, you know, you have enhanced and different versions of that enhanced V2 core. So if you're talking about the Vortex or the V2, the last one that came out of Hopkinsville, this ball is definitely stronger. You almost ate 10? Cool. I had 3 people that dropped their pre-sales after you just almost ate 10.
Nah.
Thanks. Thanks,
You know
Gary.
what? I was showing you a different angle on that.
So hopefully that answered your question there.
Buy this ball. It's amazing.
Dave Millard, ASIM or SIM for lower ball speed, like 14 miles an hour. I think what you're asking me is what do I think is best for you? I mean, low ball speed is one part of the equation, Dave. I'd really need to understand a little bit more what, you know, at that 14 miles per hour, I can assume that you might be rev dominant, but if you're 14 miles an hour and you're matched, it's a much different answer. If you can give me a little more insight on what you're asking there, Dave, I'll try to answer your question a little better. Also depends what you're bowling on. But again, when you get all those other things that are super important, you know, 14 miles an hour with somebody that has 20 degrees of axis rotation versus somebody that has 70 degrees is going to be a way different answer to the question of what ball I would recommend. But right off the bat, I think your first thing you want to look at before you talk about ASIM or SIM when you're talking about a lower ball speed like that is you really need to be looking at the cover of the bowling ball and basically the surface prep on it. At 14 miles an hour, you're probably not going to be using, you know, a super low RG ball that has a ton of scratch on it, you know, or that ball's probably going to puke and feel like you're going to just wrap corners the whole time if you do get it to the hole. Alrighty, gang. I'm going to let Kerry throw one more here. She promised me it's going to be a good one. But as she's doing that, my message is absolutely always the same when we go off of the feeds here. And, you know, I want to continue to ask everybody to go out and support bowling and small business. Support your pro shops. By all means, support me. I don't care how busy I am. I love seeing everybody. For our other pro shop partners that pop on these feeds and they interact, I know Eddie Curtis is on here at a Prime Bowling down in Maryland. You know, go see those guys down there, him and Darnell. And, you know, they'll be glad to help you as well. We're all in this together. We want to help educate and make everybody a better version of themselves. But the only way we do that is if we keep getting out there and bowling together and supporting each other.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes, Kerry.
I think I'm ready to start the live feed now.
All right, you're warmed up now. That sounded like a Parkerism there. But yeah, support that. Hopefully, I'll see a few of you locally at some tournaments here. I know tomorrow night there's a speakeasy event in East Lincoln, so if you're not doing anything, stop on out and see us there. Support that small center. Over the weekend here, we're actually not going to be bowling anything. Maybe Kerry will, but I'm going to be here finishing up the center and getting the final part of this renovation completely done and servicing everybody here and making you guys the best players you can be. So until then, it is Jeff and Kerry are going to be signing off for the night. Have a good night, everybody. I didn't cut it off before that, so they got a good one on the end.